I noticed that I got a comment. I was on my phone, doom scrolling as usual, and I got a comment and it said, "This is so stupid." That's all I saw, and I was like, what video is that? Like, what did I say?
Oh, wow.
Hi everyone, so today is going to be a little more of a serious video. I'm going to be, as we can see, addressing a video on my channel that is probably the most controversial take I've had on this channel, or one of the videos where I feel like the majority of the people that watched that video disagreed with my opinion or my views on a certain subject. So I knew I had made this video. I used to make, and I'm thinking about making them again at some point. I just don't really have anything to rant about at the moment, but I used to make these videos kind of like a podcast kind of thing, like a very short podcast of me ranting about something. This is the video that I'm talking about, and as you can see by the title alone, it is like very in your face, very like what? So I think right off the bat I knew it was going to be a little bit of a controversial video, but this video I put up back in 2018, so I was, I believe, 20 years old at the time. Now I'm 26. Okay, 6 years has passed. I remembered I made this video, but I hadn't looked at the comments in a long time. Like, I want to say maybe like 2019. I had not looked at those comments, but I was on my phone scrolling, doom scrolling as usual. I got a comment and it said, "This is so stupid." Like, that's all I saw, and I was like, what video is that? Like, what did I say? So I was super concerned. I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I do? Did I get something wrong? So I clicked on the comment and I realized it went right back to that rant video. So this is the comment, and I actually did respond to this person, and they were like, oh, I'm, sorry if that came off aggressive. I was like, I actually need to sit down and rewatch this video, and I think I need to make a response to it, because one thing you need to know about me and my channel is that sometimes I'm not going to get everything right, and I may change my opinion on something, or not even really change my opinion necessarily, but I may realize that the way I worded things or said things came off as just aggressive or just kind of ignorant. I did watch this video back, and I think it just didn't come off the way that I would want to say it now. I think that there are some things I could word a lot better now that I'm a little older and have learned a little more about this topic that we're going to be talking about, that I was ranting about in that video. I'm a huge Queen fan. I've been a Queen fan since 2016. I was chilling on my couch and this documentary came on about Queen, and I was like, who is this beautiful man? And I automatically had a crush on this man, and then that just involved me like realizing, oh my god, this is the band that did like We Are the Champions and Another One Bites the Dust. So it just, it started there, and then I made videos about them over time. Bo Rap biopic came out, and a lot of people found my channel through that, so that was really awesome. When I made that video, my intention wasn't to slander Freddie or Queen, but again, because I got so many people disagreeing with me or sharing their own thoughts that I think were pretty logical and, did have like research put into it. So a part of this video I talk about Freddie using the N-word, and this is used in a song called March of the Black Queen, and it is saying, I thought for the longest time it was saying a little bit of sugar, but it actually says a little N-word, sugar. And upon reading the comments, a lot of people were trying to explain to me what this term meant, that it's not, referring to skin color or to be derogatory, and that I should really look at like the context in which this word is being used in the lyrics. I got a lot of comments of people from the UK saying that that phrase is something that they have heard of before, and especially like in the 70s it was used. Now, I've never lived in the UK, and I was literally born in 1998, so, I have no experience with that, obviously, which is, I think, a huge reason why I came to the conclusion that I did in that video. I was really coming from, like, my own experience. I grew up in the South. I've always lived in the South. I've only been out of the state, never been out of the country. From a very early age, I was aware of the N-word and the meaning of it and how it is a very nasty word to use, and the only people that should be using it are people in the Black community, and that is up to them to choose whether or not they want to use that word. Reading the comments, I did get a lot of knowledge that I did not know prior to making that video, so I do want to apologize for my ignorance in that area. Another comment that I got, which I am going to be reading some comments and just responding to them. I went through a lot the day that I received this new comment, and I was like, okay, let me see what everybody's saying, because I have not read these in a very long time. Another one I got was, the funniest part about this is that Freddie was born in Africa, which is true. He was born in Zanzibar. He is not a white guy. I want to make that clear. Freddie is not white.
Stop that shit.
Now, I will say, I think a lot of comments, some were kind of odd just because they would say, oh, he was born in Africa, and leave it at that. Like, that just means he could say
No, ma'am.
But I think a lot of the comments were just telling me, you know, mentioning that he was from Africa because they wanted me to be aware. Like, they weren't saying it to be malicious or anything or be ignorant about like the use of a slur, but they were just telling me because they didn't want me to think that he was just a white guy, right? So I do appreciate that. So I did want to address that. And one more thing I wanted to address before we start reading comments. I mentioned that they allegedly played to a segregated crowd.
Basically, it was revealed in the Days of Our Lives doc that Roger and Brian regretted doing that. So it is up to those who support them to accept that apology or not.
Let's go ahead and get into the comments. Here's one. It says, I am a black guy and I still love the song to death. It doesn't offend me in any way because of something we call context, which is, again, this was like one of the most prominent comments that I got. Thank you, Ashley. I also wanted to say that for some reason people forget that Freddie himself was not white. He was full Indian Parsi, and while that does not excuse him using the N-word, he never should have. It does mean that he was not blind to racism and experienced it himself throughout his life. It was a mistake and he never should have done it, obviously, but let's remember that he's had racism towards him throughout his life as well. He wasn't oblivious. This is one that I did read a few days ago. Ashley, how old are you? I'm now 26. I was born in 1998, so I'm definitely on the younger side. This song was written in 1974 by an Englishman of Persian Parsi descent. I was born and raised in the UK and can tell you that anywhere other than the US at that time, there was no such thing as the N-word. Never heard that before, but when I was growing up there, it was perfectly normal to call dark brown that word brown. It referred to a color and didn't raise an eyebrow in normal conversation. I was shocked to find out when I came to the US in the 80s that the word was highly offensive here. Oh, wow. Come on, this whole discussion is out of context and completely pointless. I have been a Queen fan since 1974 and find it laughable to imply Freddie made a mistake and was wrong to say the N-word when the word was just a normal word back then, grr. I will say, I think it is kind of weird to be like, oh, well, back then it was normalized. I don't personally agree with that.
What I am trying to say is, we can acknowledge that non-black people used this word in the 70s, but we do not have to normalize it.
I still have a problem with it, but I understand the context. This is the lyric, right? So it's not meant to like call out the black community, but I just personally wished a different word was used. N-word sugar was the Victorian era name for brown raw cane sugar imported from Africa. The term had nothing to do with race despite it being from Africa, because the term wasn't invented to describe African people. It literally means black. The song is about a Victorian era baker. Him talking about sugar makes perfect sense given that Freddie's side of Queen 2 was about a Victorian era like fantasy land called Rye. That is true. Race had nothing to do with this song and the use of the word. This one says, a white person defending another white person. Saying the N-word is nothing new. Y'all don't get it and never will. Y'all trying to defend Freddie in the comments are weird as hell. Freddie is not black, therefore he should not say the N-word. He easily could have said a little bit of sugar and left it at that. I love Queen and I love Freddie, but what he did is wrong and you guys need to accept that and stop defending him.
Here are a few more comments I wanted to share and address that I did not mention on camera. I personally agree with this one. I agree with this one too. Sometimes artists can take influence from black artists, but that does not mean they respect black people. But to be 100% clear, I am not accusing Freddie of that. I am just saying I have seen it, especially in the K-pop industry. Again, thank you guys for giving me context and explaining things to me in a very nice way. However, I don't agree with using the N-word like I said earlier, regardless of the context, and I can see that my audience is, regardless of race, either not happy with the use of the word at all regardless of context, or they are not upset with the use of the word because of the context. So what are my final thoughts? I still stand with my same view that I did on my rant video. However, I do acknowledge my ignorance in terms of the brown sugar term, so I do apologize for that. I think that just because you critique an artist you love for something you see as wrong, that does not mean you hate them or wish bad on them. That just means you do not agree with them, and in my opinion that is totally okay to do. Also, I want to say this one last time, but I am not claiming that Freddie is racist. I cannot stress that enough. Obviously I did not know the man personally, but I did want to say that because I think some people on my rant video felt that I hated Freddie and Queen, and just wanted to tarnish their reputation. Anyway, let me close out this video now.
So yeah, y'all let me know in the comments though. I mean, the black community ultimately has the last say and the only say really on how to feel about this. But yeah, I just wanted to share this because I genuinely, I'm not kidding, I had not looked at the comments in years, and then I got that comment being like, this is so stupid, and I was like, what? I probably will end up deleting that video. I feel like this video is a little less intense, and I also am talking about the context in that lyric of the song, whereas I didn't do that in the original video. So yeah, but thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys!